Salute, MobTube. How's everybody doing today? Let me get to my comments here and shout some names out. Um, the fuck, Paul? What? Hold on. Sorry, I got stuck on a comment. Miss Can't Be Wrong, Chad McDonough, Dave, Casey Robinson, James Jameson. Let's see here. Joseph Montanero, Jason Mikesell, Tatone, Albaz. Yes, it is, Albaz. It certainly is, especially in our area. Let me see who else we got. Paul Atkinson, Joe Root. Did I shout you out? Michael Hensley, we love you too, bro. Let me see. Ranger Fan 11, Sven Larson, Joey Electric, OC, Robert B, Scott McDonald, Joseph Lubrano, and I think that's it. 58 people. That's actually not bad for just starting. And I didn't play a song today just because I didn't have one ready, and I gotta slow it down with that a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Plus, I have a good idea for tonight's show. I think so, because tonight's show is gonna be fun as usual. Yeah, I love this shirt. Miss Can't Be Wrong. I love it. I had to go back to U.S. Polo Association for a day because I love this shirt. Like I told you guys before, it's all about how much I like the shirt. I couldn't care less about anything else. Yeah, I saw that in the chat as a suggestion. I thought about that. I thought about that. So I was thinking about the addiction and recovery topic today, and I wanted to create a community post where I asked in advance if anybody would be willing to come on here and share with us. And I totally forgot, being me, so I didn't make that community post. But you know how it goes, guys. If anybody would like to do that, I will drop the link for you, and you can come on. You don't have to tell us who you are. You don't have to show your face. You can just tell your story. You don't even have to use your. You don't even have to use your name, your screen name. You can just use. You put Snuffleupagus in there. You know what I mean, as your name. It doesn't matter. I mean, somebody came in here last night as a fudge packing fruitcake. You know what I'm saying? So you can pick any name. But if you guys would like to, let me know and I will drop the link. If I'm behind in the chat or something, Miss Can't Be Wrong will let me know if anybody wants the link and I'll drop it. I would like to hear some other people's stories, but if not, I have a topic in mind, I think. Robert B., I know this is addiction recovery, but I just wanted to say I went into Idiot's chat today for about 5 minutes. I was so pissed I wanted to scream. I had to leave. He's a real effing. Yeah. I have no idea what he did today on that show. I have honestly no idea. So I don't know what pissed you off, but I feel you. 658. I like that. Absolutely. I agree 100%. Wait, not that. This. I had a coke addict friend we called Snuffle Out of Blow. That's funny. Let me see what else we got. You know what? You know how it goes. I'll give it a few minutes before I get into it. We got 77 people though. That's fantastic. Paul Atkinson. Wait a minute. That's going to become a trivia song, or I'm sorry, a trivia. What song today? Yeah. Well, listen, if I could and I knew it was okay, I'd play one in every single show. But it is messing with my algorithm a little bit. You know, it's making it take longer and longer to fill up the chat and stuff. I always get, generally lately 300 or above, but at least 250, something like that. And I usually get that. Well, I used to get that within the first, I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes of the show. Now it's taking longer because I'm playing the music and all that. YouTube doesn't like that. Um, YouTube doesn't like that. So I got to be careful. Well, here's a good question. Ritz, I would like to ask you one thing. If you have a young daughter or niece that is in love with someone with addiction, what advice would you give? That's a really good question, Ritz, because I've never even thought about it. But yeah, this right here obviously would be the first thing. You'd want to make sure that she does not also become an addict, because a lot of the time relationships are the cause for someone who's never even used drugs, or who has used them moderately, to all of a sudden become a full blown drug addict or alcoholic because the person they're with is doing the same. My advice to them would be, if they're really in love with them and they don't want to leave them, first of all, look out for their own health. Make sure they don't start using along with their partner, whoever it might be, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. Um, and then after that, do everything you can. I would tell my daughter or niece, do everything you can to get his ass into treatment immediately. Give him an ultimatum if you have to. Tell him, uh, if you don't quit, I'm leaving. That's it. And if he's really in love with her, then he will do what he has to do to get into treatment and to stay clean and sober. Give you an example. I've told this story before. In '99, I had a girlfriend who I loved very much, loved with all my heart, and she told me that she's not going to watch this anymore. She's not going to lose me to alcoholism. She's not going to watch me die. She said she's at her wit's end, and if I don't get myself clean, sober, whatever, that she's out. And I believed her. Now, what I did next was completely ass backwards and wrong. I didn't know that you can't just quit. So I tried to quit alcohol cold turkey. I had a grand mal seizure, wound up in cardiac intensive care and critical condition, all that good shit. But the point is, it works. If your daughter or niece is in love with a guy who is an addict, or a girl, okay, and that guy or girl is in love with them back, and your daughter or niece says to them, either you get yourself into a program or into a rehab or detox, some sort of treatment, or I'm going to leave you, then one of two things is going to happen. Either it's going to work and they're going to go get treatment and hopefully they'll get better, or that person is going to show your daughter or niece that he doesn't love them or she doesn't love them nearly as much as they love him or her, and then that's it. Then your daughter or niece would know that you're better off, that they are better off without that person, because they don't love them the same way. It's not reciprocal. That's my opinion. But thank you for the good question. Thank you, thank you. Um, Joseph Montanero, I have a topic. How about owning your behavior, not being the victim? I think that is appropriate considering what's going on. Me too. Me too. Absolutely. Yeah. If you guys notice, no matter what it is, even with this shit, I've said plenty of times, if it's something I did, I take responsibility. I'll take the hits, whatever. If it's something someone else did, I'm not willing to take their hits. But yeah, guys, that's another reason I'm not an anti-rat dude anymore. Because, in my opinion, if you were a fucking criminal, if you were in a game, whether it's the mafia, a street gang, a fucking, the drug world, you were drug dealing, whatever, you're fully aware that you might get ratted on. Okay? And, a matter of fact, it's likely that you will. The odds are in favor of it. So if you continue to be a criminal and then somebody tells on you or sets you up and you go to prison, be mad at yourself first. You can be mad at that rat too. Later, be mad at yourself first, because it was your ass who chose to be a criminal and commit crimes. Right? And a rat couldn't have set you up when you weren't doing nothing wrong, or couldn't have ratted on you for something you didn't do. That's except for in very, very rare cases. So yeah, as far as addiction, same thing. Yeah, don't act like a victim. That's why, and I don't knock anybody who does look at it this way, but that's why I never looked at it as a disease. I don't even like when people call it a disease, because I feel like once you call it a disease, you're taking the responsibility off the addict. And you can't do that because although it might have developed into a disease, at the very least, every single one of us, okay, knew right from wrong, was taught about drugs and alcohol, all that stuff when we were young. There isn't a single one of us who got addicted to something we did not know we could get addicted to, unless it's something maybe prescribed by your doctor and you trusted your doctor. But with street drugs and shit, uh, if you tried heroin, cocaine, crack, even alcohol, okay, and you kept drinking or doing drugs knowing that you could become an addict, well, then there you go. It's not like somebody choosing to get cancer. You know what I mean? Nobody chooses that. Even if you do things that, yeah, they could possibly cause that. That's not something anybody wants. And I'm not saying anybody wants to be an addict either, but they know that if they continue a certain pattern of behavior, it's likely to happen. Like a person knows that if they drink once every 2 weeks, they're probably never going to become a full blown alcoholic. But if you start drinking day after day, you know goddamn well that might develop into a much more serious problem where you have no choice but to drink day after day, you know? And yeah, bro, and Joseph also, like me, I did terrible things in my life. Not always due to addiction, but many of them were due to addiction. Okay, and I just mean because I did them under the influence, or it was something I might not have done if I was clean or sober at the time. Um, but I don't blame drugs and alcohol for those actions. Whether I was because listen, even if I did something I drunk that I wouldn't have done sober, well, I chose to get drunk. So if you go all the way back to the beginning, still my fault. Yeah. So I don't sit here and say all the people in my life that are still mad at me shouldn't be because I had a disease called addiction. I don't do that. I say you have every right to be mad at me, and I have no right to judge you for being mad at me or to rush you into forgiving me or anything else. I just got to accept the fact that I fucked up time and time again. And if people choose to forgive you or me, whatever, or if they decide to be mad at us for the rest of our lives, that's up to them. They can do that. You know what I mean? They have every right to. Okay, our actions were not due to some disease, not in my opinion. No, all the blame can be placed on the individual. Now, the only thing that ever changed my mind about the disease thing is Robert Eiler. Believe it or not, Robert Eiler, if you guys haven't seen that interview, go check it out. We talk a lot about addiction. Robert Eiler that's AJ from The Sopranos, for anyone who doesn't know. He had a lot of addiction problems. And anytime I interview somebody, I do a thorough, I do thorough research on them. I look into their whole, life story and everything. And if I know they have addiction issues in their past or even currently, I make it a point, of course, to talk about that as much as possible. I did it with Joe Perino. I did it with Robert Eiler, Lilo Brancato, of course. I'm not sure about anyone else. But Robert Eiler had a very, 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 very serious struggle for years and years with drug and alcohol addiction. And I don't remember exactly how he explained the disease thing. He explained it the way a counselor explained it to him. But it made a little more sense the way he was saying it. I will say that. Like, I think he said something like, the choice is to drink one or two drinks. The disease kicks in when you can't stop drinking, when you can't just stop at 1 to 2 drinks. So maybe that's the case. Who am I to judge? I just know this. In my life, I would rather kick myself in the ass than be angry at other people or other things. It's just the way I am. I'm more comfortable. I don't mind being angry at myself. I don't like it, but I can do it. I can kick myself in the ass all day and blame myself for everything bad that ever happened to me. And I find that more tolerable than to constantly sit here and cry poor me and say, if it wasn't for the disease, and if it wasn't for this person who first got me to try a drug, or if it wasn't for this exact day and date, if I wasn't in the wrong place at the wrong time. No, I don't do that. Even if it's true, even if it is some, like, for example, our friend Chris Drager, I think he was shot up by his uncle when he was a young boy. He might have been at top 17. Okay, different story, yeah. But even if that is the case, I believe acceptance is the end of all suffering. I love that saying. And to me, that means it could mean plenty of things. It could mean that you lost somebody. You have to accept it. You're no longer where you used to be in life. You have to accept it. Whatever. But it also means to me that once I'm willing to accept that I am to blame for all these terrible things that, in my opinion, I did to myself and other people, and I can't blame some disease or some someone else or some time and place where I might have first tried drugs or alcohol. Once I came to the conclusion that I can only blame myself. It was almost like a weight was lifted off my shoulders, because, like I said, that might seem weird to a lot of you, but we're all different. Some of you, I know people personally that I talk to every day that are miserable people. They're always mad. They're always fucking angry and bitter. Sometimes it's even funny. They're always pissed off at other people. To me, I do much better hating myself and blaming myself. Because there's only so much I can do in that case. When you're angry at other people, you never know what you might do. That anger, well, first of all, it'll only eat you up. It'll only hurt you. It won't hurt them. Secondly, you might decide, okay, maybe I got to kill this motherfucker, and then you destroy your whole entire life, whatever it may be. Or at the very least, if you continue to blame other people and other places and other things rather than yourself, how can you ever really get better? Because nothing is your fault. And you might as well just try drugs all over again, right? Because now that person who I blamed for my last bout with addiction, he's not around anymore. Or I'm not in those same places. Or maybe this time I can try it, and I can only do it, I can do it only moderately, not all the time. No. Nope. Blame yourself and pound it into your own head that this is something you cannot do anymore. You're allergic to it, just like people have peanut allergies and everything else. You got to treat that drug or that drink as an allergy you have. You cannot have it. You'll die. Just like somebody who's allergic to peanuts. They can't eat peanuts. They'll die. They'll go into anaphylactic shock and they'll die. Okay? That's how you have to treat all these things. So you got to grow up and you got to say, okay, I got myself, my best thinking got me to where I am or to where I was, meaning, full blown addiction. I've been through hell and back because of it. And all of that, I mean, all of it was my own fault and my fault alone. And I'm not willing to do that to myself anymore. Because that's another thing with blaming other people. How could anybody else do that to you? Only you can do it to yourself. You know what I mean? Only you could do it, except for, like I said, in rare cases. Only you can turn yourself into an addict. Nobody can force you to drink or take fucking drugs. You know what I'm saying? So if you can't take personal responsibility, you'll never be better. And yeah, Joseph, what else you're alluding to, of course, yeah. There's certain people in life who can never do that. It's always everybody else's fault. They're never the one who caused any trouble. They're never the one who I guess you could say drew first blood, or disrespected someone long before that someone disrespected them back. Things like that. They can never take responsibility and just be a fucking man and say, I was wrong. I was wrong. And maybe that person mad at me has every fucking right to be. So I'm sorry, bro. That was an extremely verbose answer. Verbose meaning I went on and on forever. And I spoke circles just to get to a single point that I was trying to make. But I hope that answered your question. Grumpy Chow Chow. You're right, bro. I'm terrified of him. Yeah, exactly. That's why I've done everything I've done in the last week, including um, verbally annihilating him last night and things like that, because I'm terrified. Uh, Relationships and recovery don't mix. No, quite often they don't. No. Yes, 658. They have Al-Anon. Yeah, that's for families of addicts. Yep. So if you're, for example, say you're, it could be anybody. It could be your nephew is struggling with addiction, and you don't know how to understand them or how to maybe deal with them or get how to help them in any way. Yeah, you could go. There's groups like Al-Anon you can go to, and you could kind of learn some tools and stuff. Coping skills, I should say. Love Entertainment Group. Ritz, take her to local NA or I'm sorry, NA meeting or program and show them what old addicts look like and how they tell stories of using others. Yeah, no shit. Good fucking point. Good idea. I mean, I'm sorry. Let's be honest, the recovery rate is not great. I wouldn't play the odds with a daughter or niece. No, no, no. That's why, in my opinion, maybe this sounds harsh, but it's got to be an ultimatum. Either go get help or lose me, especially with your daughter or niece. You can't chance it. You know what I'm saying? Go get help or lose me. And if he doesn't get help, she doesn't get help, whatever, then, she meaning it could be a boyfriend or a girlfriend. If they don't accept help or pursue some sort of a treatment, then your daughter or niece has to go their separate way. That's it. That's it. It hurts, I'm sure, if they're in love, but yes, Miss Can't Be Wrong. Very true. Of course, Ritz. That's what we're here for, bro. You definitely don't want to mandate anything, or she'll definitely stay by his side. No, 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 no. But and you're probably just saying that to Ritz. But in case anybody took what I was saying as something like that, no, no, no. You don't force her to do anything, but you give her advice and you tell her, listen, if you're really concerned about his addiction, you think you might lose him, or that his uh, use of drugs or alcohol might affect you in a very negative way, or even hurt you physically or mentally or whatever, then you give him an ultimatum. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, again, just to be clear, like say Ritz is the uncle or father of the niece or daughter, then you tell the niece or daughter to tell their boyfriend or girlfriend, whoever it may be, to give them an ultimatum. You tell them, listen, it's either the drugs and alcohol, drugs or alcohol, whatever, or me. And then at the very least, she'll find out how much he loves her. If he goes and gets treatment, he must love her to death, right? And there's hope. But if he says, fuck that, I choose the drugs or alcohol, then you know what? You know what your daughter and niece should tell him? Well, you know what? I'm not going anywhere. I can't be with you, but I'll be around. When you get help, when you decide to fix yourself and you get clean and sober, come looking for me then. Until then, I have to walk away. It'll be heartbreaking for both parties, but it might be life saving for at least one of those parties, or maybe even both. So, because there's always somebody, Scott McDonald. You just gotta laugh at them. That probably was SoFlo. You know what I mean? Like you just gotta laugh at them. Joseph Montanero, 100% agree. FPS. Yeah, I'm not always good at explaining what I mean, but I think you guys know what I'm saying. Bambi Palermo, not staying, just want to show my support and love. Keep up the good work. You're not addicts, you're survivors. Peace out. Uh, Very nice of you to come in here and say the kind words. Absolutely. Thank you, Bambi. I appreciate that. Most people don't have it in them to seek recovery, stick to it, avoid their triggers, and try to live sober. It all starts with the individual. Yeah, I know. And guys, I understand. And let me explain. Like, see, I'm somebody who had, uh, I guess you could say I was cross addicted, okay, throughout most of my life, on and off, because I had years of sobriety in between, or in some cases just months, right? I throughout those years, I would I was for the most part, it was the physical addiction that was the problem. Like, for instance, the coke, there's no physical addiction. It's all mental. But the alcohol, once you're physically addicted, it's not your choice to quit. I mean, it's your choice, but you can't do it like that. You got to make the choice to go get medical treatment to quit, or you'll fucking die. You know what I'm saying? It's not like cocaine where you could just say, okay, I'm locking myself in a room where there's no cocaine and I'm staying here. You could do that, and you could spend 4 or 5 days without it, and you might not even want it anymore. Alcohol, it ain't the same. If you lock yourself in a room with alcohol withdrawal, you're never coming out. You're going to die in there. So my thing was the physical addiction. Every time I got medically detoxed from alcohol, I was good for a while, as long as I chose to be. It wasn't until I chose to relapse, because I said, fuck this, I want to be using again. I'm telling you right now, guys, I never had some accidental relapse where I was just too weak, so I started using again. No, no. There was, for example, when I had that seizure in '99, um, I was going to turn 21 soon, not long after, a year or two, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting ready to turn 21. I'm completely clean and sober. All my friends are planning going to bars and clubs and all this shit. Atlantic City, whatever, all these different things. And I'm like, but I got to turn 21 clean and sober? Fuck that. Fuck that. So I started drinking here and there again. It was my choice. It wasn't like, oh, I'm just having a bad night. I never did that. And I don't knock anybody who did. I just didn't. My point is that I have it easier than a lot of you, because a lot of you, especially with alcohol, see, alcohol, I know people that are worse alcoholics than I was, meaning that they've been drinking longer, that they are actually in. Well, here's the main thing: they're in love with drinking. See, for me, drinking was always a means to an end. Like, it was depression, so I would drink my way into feeling better. Anxiety, I would drink myself out of a panic attack, or just to calm down. There was even a time where I was sort of agoraphobic, and I couldn't even go out unless I had a few drinks, and especially sleep. I had to drink myself to sleep, especially when I started using cocaine. You guys know how that goes. Okay. I never loved drinking. I never even really liked it. I mean that. I loved doing cocaine. Loved it. Loved it. Like, I never did cocaine so I could drink. I know some people, they'll get some coke just for as an excuse, or for an excuse to go drink. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I need the alcohol now. No, no, no. But I drank to do cocaine. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't even about the drinking. It was just that if I'm drinking, I feel a little justified. Who doesn't do a little blow when they're drinking? Whatever. Or now I need it because I'm in a club and I'm fucking passing out from the alcohol. I need a little bump. Whatever. That was my love, cocaine. Alcohol was just a means to an end. That's all it ever was. So when I got physically detoxed, that was it. I didn't crave anything. I was fine until I decided otherwise. A lot of alcoholics, they've never even experienced withdrawal symptoms. I'll give you examples. I have 5 or 6 friends who, since we were teenagers, they're my age now, and they still drink every single fucking day, at least a couple of 6 packs every single day. If they're not out at a bar because they have to work the next day, they do it as soon as they get off work, and they drink till they go to sleep. Now, a lot of these guys, because they're functioning, which means they're semi-healthy, because your liver doesn't really start to get that bad until you're not functioning anymore, when you're just laying around. See, if you're functioning, you're eating. and you're doing somewhat healthy activity, especially if you're going to work. It makes it 10 times harder to become physically addicted to alcohol if you're a functioning addict. That's true. If you're like me, who I was selling drugs, so I would wake up in the morning and drink some vodka and drink vodka all fucking day. I mean, as soon as I'd wake up, I'd take a couple of shots and that was it. Then I would drink the rest of the day. And I wasn't doing shit. No physical activity, no work, no nothing. Just running around selling drugs. Well, when you're like that, your brain and everything else, I mean, it's 100,000 times more susceptible. And you just become physically addicted easier. Not to mention that beer, you're not going to get you're not going to go through the same withdrawal if you're a beer drinker. I don't care if you're a lifelong beer drinker. You're not going to go through the same withdrawal as you are if you drink liquor. Liquor is a totally different animal. It absolutely is. I told you one of those friends I was just talking about, Scott. This fucking dude, he had to go do a year in jail. I said to him, bro, how you gonna do? Do you know my first thought? I'm like, what do you mean? You drink like a fish every fucking day. He's like, I don't know, man. I got to do it. I saw him after he got out. First thing I asked him, bro, how'd you get through the withdrawal? Did you go into medical and all that shit and tell? He was like, bro, I had the shakes pretty bad and the sweats for like the first week and I was good. If he was addicted to liquor the way I was, no. No, within a couple of days, if he didn't seek medical treatment, he would have been dead. But he would have had no choice but to seek medical treatment because he would have been so physically ill and visibly physically ill that they would have put him there anyway. It's not like that with liquor. It's a different fucking story. So anyway, my whole point of this spiel right here is it's the people who love alcohol that are the worst alcoholics in my mind. Because they crave it. They love it. It's a part of their day. You know how many guys, they come home from work, first thing they do, they look forward to it all day. Pop up, open a cold beer, and drink until you go to sleep. They love drinking. They go out and do things just to drink. Like I know friends who, they will not go on a family trip unless it's somewhere they can drink. Seriously. Because even on a family trip, their favorite thing to do is drink. I was never like that. But for me, I till this day, I don't crave alcohol like that. I told you, I tell you guys when I do. From time to time, if I'm in Miami, I'm in a fucking pool, and everybody, the half naked cocktail waitresses are walking around with trays full of ice cold mixed drink pitchers and shit. Oh my god, yeah, I crave it, but not in my regular life. Not at all. Not even a little bit. We could sit at a casino. There could be liquor all around us. We don't even fucking consider it. The people who actually loved drinking, who weren't physically addicted, but mentally addicted, those people, I think, have it the worst. I think so. And that's why I say sometimes I feel almost guilty about the fact that I don't have it as tough as most of you guys. See, I became alive in rehab. Like, after a couple of days there, the safety that I felt being out of York City, away from the drugs, away from the alcohol, not having it in my possession. I'm in this beautiful place. I was in no ordinary rehab. Otherwise, I probably would have dipped. I got exercise equipment. I'm getting massages. I'm learning Tai Chi, meditating. I have the fucking pool. It's the middle of the summer. I'm in the pool every day between groups. I just go hop in the fucking in-ground pool for a couple hours and then go back to group. You know what I'm saying? It was beautiful. I was getting sun. I was exercising. I was learning all types of coping skills and different types of, there was different types of therapy. I just, it was like I woke up for the first time in years. I became alive again. I felt fucking great. And all I wanted was to keep feeling that way. That's it. I really started to be happy, started to really experience happiness again. And I fucking loved it. That's what rehab did for me. That's why I'm such a big proponent of it. It might not do that for a lot of people. And then of course, look what happened when I was there. Not only did I make great friends, who some of which I think will be lifelong friends, but I met Shanna, who is now the love of my life, who I married, share a home with, and she's my best friend. and my partner in everything we do. You know what I mean? It's I half of that shit I wouldn't even be able to do on my own because it wouldn't even be fun to me. I want to share it with her. So if everybody could go to the rehab I went to, and I know this, that's why I feel I feel guilty sometimes. If anybody could go to the rehab I went to, and then while you're there, wind up meeting a beautiful girl, starting an entirely new life, and getting married, and then becoming like with the YouTube and all. If anybody could do exactly what I did, they'd be a lot quicker to go to rehab and seek help. But unfortunately, I know it's not that way for a lot of people. A lot of people, it terrifies them to go. Just the thought of quitting using is terrifying. Then the fear of being in a new place and trying to getting through that initial sickness, illness, whatever that's fucking terrifying. All that stuff, and a lot of people, they know that when they get clean or sober, they're going to go right back to an empty apartment or the street. They have nobody. They have it way worse than me. Way worse than me. It's sad. It honestly is because I can't sit here and tell you guys that if I was going through what you're going through, I'd still be clean and sober. No, no. I just know that living the life I live, I can maintain my sobriety with no problem. I have no desire to drink or do drugs because I know the outcome. But some of you guys, like War, for example, I admire War. War is alone. He lost his wife. You have no idea the sympathy I feel and the empathy for. I mean, I feel terrible for him. You know what? The fucking guy. And I know he goes through struggles in his life. I speak to him. But he manages to stay clean and sober. Better man than me. If I was in his position, could I? Probably not. I probably wouldn't even want to. But he's fucking he's able to do it. You got to give him credit. And a lot of you guys are the same, you know? Yes, Albaz. Every family and relationship dynamics differ. Absolutely. Midwest Mafia Productions. What's up, bro? All right, bro. Yeah. Have fun, man. Make some good shit. Also, Joseph Montanaro. Also, if good people, aka friends, are giving you advice and you do not accept that advice, then you should accept the outcome and don't look to blame those same good people. Yeah, 100%. Yep. Yeah, without a doubt. You have nobody to blame but yourself, especially in situations like that. Like if somebody's offering you treatment, and there's a guy we all know of right on here, right on MobTube, that has been offered help by fucking every one of his friends, and all of them together combined as a group, almost insisted that you get help, which I know that doesn't work, but we even tried that. It was that person's choice to say no. There's nothing else we could do, you know? So, got to take responsibility for that choice, to the choice not to accept anybody's help. You have to. Really, 658? Shit. If it worked, more people should have out of body experiences if it worked. Scott McDonald, I was fully to blame for my addiction and didn't care at the time about the hurt I was putting onto my family. It was my choice, and at the time I was enjoying myself. Yeah, Scott, I think a lot of us have had at least periods of that where we might have even known that what we were doing was making people's lives miserable, but we were so deep into our addiction that we either chose not to give a fuck or we just weren't capable of giving a fuck. Every punk kid on the corner said it would never happen to them. Quote from Basketball Diaries. Oh, see, it's funny you mentioned that. Give me 1 second. I actually got this from Amazon maybe a week ago. Now, I don't know if this is some sort of bootleg. Hopefully, it's the real deal. But the reason I ordered it, who watches DVDs anymore? I know what you're thinking. Um, you can't watch it. It's nowhere. They will never stream this movie again. You'll never ever ever be able to see this movie if you don't have a copy of it. I think because of the school shooting scene, I think that's why. If you remember, he goes into the Catholic school in his dream and he's in the black trench coat and he pulls out the sawed off and he starts gunning people down. I think that's why, but I'm not sure. It might also be, I read something that I think there's a couple of other reasons too. Oh, the scenes with him blowing the fucking guys in the subway stations for money and all that shit, or wherever it was, and the bathrooms and shit. I think that's part of it because of the sexual assault aspect, all that shit. But I'm telling you guys, for 2 years now, I've looked and I've looked and I've searched and I've searched. There's no streaming service in America that's playing this movie anymore, and they never will again. They never will. If you Google it, where do I watch Basketball Diaries? It'll bring up like Vudu or even maybe Netflix or something. It says that, but it's not on there. You can't watch it. It's not streaming anywhere, and it never will be again. And this movie, if you haven't seen it and you have experience with addiction, whether it's your own or a family member or loved one who is going through it, Basketball Diaries is a must see. That is probably the best movie I've ever seen about drug addiction. The best fucking movie, hands down, I've ever seen. And it's just a fantastic movie in general. So I just went on Amazon and one of the reviews said it has like Japanese subtitles or something. I said, I don't give a fuck. Shannon never saw that movie. I wanted to see it so bad. I don't even know what we're going to watch it on. I don't have a fucking DVD player. Maybe we use my stepson's PlayStation 5 or something. I don't know. Do they even play DVDs? Might have to watch it on my old laptop. But yeah, that movie, man. That movie's amazing. Addiction is socially spread affliction, whereas biological diseases are spread through microorganisms and through involuntary spread between animals. Yeah. And carcinogens and things like that. Yep. My problem are the people, or I'm sorry, my problem are people who want to resort immediately to your addiction and past issues and throw it all in your face and verbally abuse you over it if you have an argument with them. Yeah, well, unfortunately, bro, that's what people are going to do. One thing I learned in life is you can't control what anyone else is going to do. You can only control what you're going to do. That's it. So you're going to deal with it. And I know, you might not be referring to this specifically. You're probably talking about life in general, but just here on MobTube, what's the first thing people say about me once they get mad at me? Junkie. I haven't done a drug or alcohol in damn near 4 years. Junkie. I mean, they'll always do that, bro. Oh, you're a cokehead. You're this. You're that. You're fucking drunk. You're gonna hear it you could be sober 40 fucking years. Somebody will say it to you. Throw it in your face from the past, without a doubt. Joseph Montanaro, I didn't listen to a lot of good advice and I paid for it, but I also never blamed anyone but myself. That's the way you have to be, bro, or you'll never get better. Yeah, Joey Electric, without a doubt. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it can. Yeah, yeah. So there's mental illness that could contribute to drug or alcoholism issues, without a doubt, or even they just outright be the cause of drug addiction or alcoholism. Yeah, I guess I should have added that. My ex, in every single argument we have, regardless of what it is about, it always circles back to my addiction and behavior during it. Well, see, it's a good thing she's your ex then. That's what. But then again, Jason, let me say this. There's people in my life who have seen me, be so ugly during my addiction and do so many. And I don't just mean on the outside. I mainly mean on the inside ugly. Things I've said and done, just ugly shit. They've seen me do horrible things. They've heard me say horrible things. They may have seen you embarrass yourself or embarrass them, things like that. They have every right. I hate to say it, Jason. Now, some people, like I was saying, when they just throw it in your face that you used to be an alcoholic or a drunk, that's one thing. But your ex, you got to ask yourself, does this woman have every right to still be hurt by the things you did during your addiction? And if so, as much as it sucks, Jason, every time she does it, you just have to say, oh, I fucking deserve that. Even if I've been clean 10 years, if we were together 11 years ago and I did something that broke her fucking heart or devastated her, then yeah, even if 40 years from now she's throwing it in my face, she has every right to feel that way because I hurt her, not the other way around. Jason, so I do have to add that little caveat. I mean, sometimes it's unwarranted. Sometimes people have every right. People have every right. Especially Jason, let's be honest. I don't know what ended your relationship, but if it was your addiction, then probably yeah, every fight you'll have ever since will be about your addiction. Oh, really, Paul? Interesting. Yeah, drug dealing can certainly turn into drug addiction, even if it's a different drug you're using from the one you sell. Forget if it's about something related to my kid after some back and forth, the gunny sackings. Oh, well, yeah, yeah, that's tough. It's hard to control. I thought I was out, but you pulled me back in. Glad to hear it, Bambi. This can't be wrong. I have a friend that still blames his mother for not forking over every penny to bail him out time and again. Yeah, that's the type of shit I'm saying. Like, and Basketball Diaries, that reminds me of Basketball Diaries. There's a scene where it's one of the most powerful scenes I've ever seen. He's outside his mother's door and he's begging and screaming and crying and pounding on her door and calling her every name in the book and literally hysterically crying and begging for money. And she's on the other side of the door crying right along with him, but she knows she's got the money in her hand, but she knows she can't give it to him. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I mean, my advice to people whose kids, as hard as it is, if you have a son or daughter who's struggling with severe addiction to the point where you're going to get a phone call any day that they are dead, the best thing that could happen to them in many situations, not all, is that they get locked up. And even if it's not about that, you can't keep rescuing someone who refuses to rescue themselves. You can't do it because it's like Tony Pizza. You know what I mean? You'll be taking care of him his entire fucking life because he refuses to help himself. It's the same in a situation like that. Eventually, you have to cut the cord and say, okay, as much as this hurts me, you're just gonna have to deal with it. You're just gonna have to deal with it. 658, though nobody can go back and make a new beginning. Anyone can start over and make a new ending. Not sure who said that. Yeah, I'm not sure either, but wise words. It's true. It's true. You can't go back and change what happened, but you can make sure it never happens again. That's why we named Shanna's channel New Beginnings with Shanna. That's why. You know what I'm saying? Because we were talking about it one day, and that's really our lives. When we met, we were both, she was in a very bad financial situation. I was in a pretty bad addiction situation. I mean, she met me when I was in rehab. And I think in my mind, we had a new beginning. And I know what you're saying. You can't go back and make a new beginning. But what I'm referring to is, although you can't go back and change the things, you can make a new beginning starting today. You can, because your story can start right now. And yes, you can absolutely make a new ending, because you can decide from here on out what you are going to do in the future. Are you going to are you going to continue in that cycle? Are you going to continue to abuse yourself mentally and physically with drugs and alcohol? Are you going to continue to put your loved ones through hell and misery just so you can continue with your addiction? Or are you going to say, okay, starting from today, I choose to be clean and sober, and I'm going to stay that way, uh, or at least I'm going to do everything I can to stay that way. I'm going to stay clean and sober. I'm going to stay clean and sober. And then, yeah, you get to dictate your ending. I told you guys, when I was in rehab, I don't know why I made this pact, but with myself, but I made a promise to myself that I don't know when I'm going to die, because I was in very bad health when I went to rehab. My heart function was very, very low. There's no reason till this day I should be alive. There's no reason I should still be alive today. But I knew I couldn't control when I died. How long I lived, I couldn't control that, but I could control how I died. In a way. Now, I can't control whether a piano falls on my head, or I get hit by a truck, or I catch fire all of a sudden, or, you know what I mean? No. But I can absolutely make the decision to not have any drugs or alcohol in my system when I die. And that's the promise I made to myself and to my family, specifically my daughter. Matter of fact, I'm going to tell you the truth. I never even said it to her. She doesn't even know that, but that's in my head who I was promising. Because I knew that if I just made the promise to myself, it wouldn't be enough. So I made the promise to myself and them through, my own silly mind that when I die, whether it's tomorrow or 30 years from now, when they do a toxicology report, if they do one, I don't even know if they do it on everybody, but there will not be any cocaine, any alcohol, or any other controlled substance. This way, no matter how I die, it's not due to that. So I might have lived with addiction for a long time, but I die clean and sober. That's up to me now. Nobody can change that. Nobody's going to force anything into me. Only I can put it there, whether it's Coke, alcohol. It could be, if your addiction is heroin, anything. I don't give a fuck what the drug is, pills, benzos, opiates, whatever. Nobody's going to force it into you. So it's your choice. Once you're clean and sober, it's your choice how your story ends. It really is, whether you believe it or not. I don't give a fuck if you're living on a street corner in a cardboard box or if you're living in a mansion on the hill. You can determine how you die to some extent. You can make sure that it's not from an overdose. You might even be able to make sure that it's not from cirrhosis of the liver or something like that, an enlarged heart due to alcoholism, whatever, things like that. If you don't already have that and you don't do anything else to bring that on, then you can, like me. I don't know what I'm going to die from. I know it's most likely going to be heart failure. And yes, unfortunately, is there a good chance that that heart failure is due to my addiction? Possibly. But bottom line is, it runs in my family. Could I somewhere down the line develop major liver problems from all my drinking? Sure, but I know one thing. I'm not going to make my heart any worse with drugs and alcohol. I'm not going to make my liver any worse with drugs and alcohol. You know what I'm saying? And whatever happens, happens. But I will be clean and sober when that day comes. That's it. Then this way, if people don't forgive you in life, maybe they'll forgive you in death. Scott McDonald, I love that, bro. I'm going to go way down here, guys, because oh my God, I'm probably 500 comments behind minimum. Jesus, fuck. Let me see. FBS, how did you get that rehab covered by insurance? Well, here's the thing. I was working, at a factory, third shift. I had been there for years, and I was a union worker. I had insurance. Um, uh, Initially, now when crisis intervention was trying to set up places and coordinate with my insurance and all that, initially I was supposed to go to a place that's actually right here in Wrightsville, which is funny because before I met Shanna, I didn't even know this fucking town existed. I knew York City. It's, what I'm saying, that's it, really. Um, they were going to put me in a place here, then they were going to put me in White Deer Run, which is in Lancaster, shit like that, which you're talking about probably maybe, I don't know, 7-8 grand for a month rather than 55,000. None of those places had an open bed, except for Clarity Way, the one I eventually wound up going to later that night. My insurance agreed to pay for 7 days for detox. That is it. And then I would have to go to another facility, a much cheaper facility. Out of pocket, it wound up costing me like 5 grand. And I'll tell you exactly what they told me. They told me, listen, we're not going to come after you for the 5 grand. If you can pay it, pay it. They really, in other words, they didn't give a fuck. They're not going to fucking report it to credit bureaus and all that horse shit. They told me straight up. So that's what it would have been out of pocket. Now, once I did the 7 days, luckily, the doctor there, Dr. Rob, and the clinical director and a couple of nurses, they fought on the phone with my insurance to get me more time there. So they gave me like another 5 days. Then they fought again. They gave me a little more time. Finally, they cut me off at the 21-day mark. They actually my union actually offered to fly me to, because I asked them, can't you cover more time? The union, they said, there's a couple places we could send you. We can't keep you there. No, we could send you to a place. They wanted to send me, it was either in California or Florida. So they were going to pay for airfare plus a 30 to 60 day stay in another rehab, but they would not cover a day in that fucking place I was at after that 21 days. Nope. So that's how I got it. But listen, man, I'm telling you, you don't have to have insurance. Like in PA here, there's government funding, there's community funding, there's county funding, whatever that you can get, whether it's for intensive outpatient or some sort of drug and alcohol counseling or inpatient rehab. There's funding. You don't have to have a dime. Like a lot of people, and I think some people use it as an excuse. Oh, I would go to rehab, but I have no insurance. Well, I got bad news for you, bro. And I say bad news because a lot of people who say it, I think, are using it as an excuse. You don't need insurance. So what's the excuse now? You don't need insurance. If you want to go to Clarity Way, you know what I mean? Or Promises, Malibu, some shit like that, you're going to need insurance or a lot of fucking cash on hand. But if you just want to go to rehab, detox, and get better, you don't need insurance. You don't. And it's not going to fuck you up like people think it is. I mean, just look at it this way with medical bills and shit. The only thing I have unpaid in my life, I believe, is some medical bills and shit. I think so. Some of them you just can't keep up on. Everybody has them. So they don't fuck your credit up and shit like people think. Everybody has past due medical bills for the most part. But I look at it like this too. Even if you got to go into debt, I don't care if you got to go into debt 100 fucking grand. If that gets you clean and sober, think about all the money. Not to mention your entire life will be saved, which is worth any fucking dollar amount. But look at all the money you're going to save not being an addict anymore. Seriously. That 100 grand, and I'm going way, nothing's going to cost any average person 100 grand. I'm just saying, even if it did, that would be nothing in comparison to what you'd save in the future, not to mention just your health, which is priceless, and staying alive, That's the way I see it. If they would have told me that day I was suffering so bad in that goddamn hotel, and I was so determined to get help, if they would have told me, Chris, this is going to cost $55,000. Insurance ain't touching it. We will take you, but we're going to chase you down for the money, and we'll even report it to credit bureaus if you don't pay. Your credit will be destroyed. I would have said, all right, let's go. I can fix my credit. I can't bring myself back to life, so let's go. That's the way I see it, without a doubt. I want to go back a little bit in the comments. I know I probably shouldn't do that, but Sven Larson. Oh, what are wait, War? What are people in here talking shit? Yeah, I don't even need to see. Just block them. I was an emotional drinker when everything was okay in my world. I was like, let's have a beer or 20. I didn't have that stop sign. On the other hand, if things wasn't in order, I was like, poor me. Yeah, bro, I feel you. I think a lot of people are like that. A lot of people are like that. And yeah, well, and the first part too, it goes back to a question I was asked once in DUI class, and I actually asked it on this show once. When's a good time to drink? For an alcoholic. That's what they asked the class. Everybody in the class is an alcoholic. Everybody said when you're sad, when you're happy, or no. I don't know if they said when you're happy. They said when you're sad, when you're lonely, if a tragedy strikes, if you lose a loved one, if you have a breakup. They gave all these different answers, and I said a good time to drink as an alcoholic is anytime. Anytime and every time is a good time. Whether you're happy, whether you're sad, whether you're lonely, whether you're in a crowd of people, whether you're sitting in your fucking living room, whether you're sitting in a nightclub, whether you're no matter what, because an alcoholic finds an excuse to drink. No matter if you're happy, let's celebrate with a drink. If you're down, well, I need a drink to get my mind off things. You know what I'm saying? There's if you're lonely, let's face it. There's a quote in and it's not just from this movie, but I was thinking about Basketball Diaries. You've all heard it, like idle time is the devil's playground, shit like that. Um, you know, um, if you're bored, it's a good time. If you're lonely, it's your companion, it's your best friend. I would, guys. I'll tell you, I had a routine at one point, man. I used to go in this one house I lived in on Boundary Avenue. We would only smoke. Me and my roommate, we only smoked in the basement. That's it. We didn't smoke anywhere in the house. The basement was fucking enormous. So we'd go all the way to the back of the basement. You know what I'm saying? So what I would do, man, on a bad night, which was every night, I'd make my runs and shit throughout the day. And at night, when I thought I was done, I would fucking go in the basement with my phone, a bottle of liquor or some beer, whatever I had, and a big bag of Coke. And I would put on old Howard Stern shit. Swear to God, on my phone, and I would just sit there and watch it and crack up. Well, I just did Coke after Coke after Coke and drink after drink after drink, and it was the time of my life. I loved it. I couldn't ask for more. So yeah, that's how drugs and alcohol cure loneliness. Unfortunately, it becomes your best friend. You know what I mean? It's like I don't need friends. I don't even need real people. I just need this bag and this bottle, and I'm good. I hate drugs and alcohol. I lost two siblings, and third still in it. Father was sober about 35 years before he passed. Sorry to hear that, Mark. I really am. But I'm like you. I hate them now too, without a doubt. Hate them. I hate them to the point where I look. Well, I've asked myself this question, and I think I've asked it on this show before. Like, if we go back and think, and it's not a good thing to do. I wouldn't practice this, but from time to time, if you have to, it might actually be helpful in some way to think back and say, what would I have done? Hold on, guys. All right. What was I saying? What was I saying, guys? Oh, not only what would have been different in your life if you never discovered drugs or alcohol. Not only like how different your outcome might be, or how many things you wouldn't have done, or maybe even would have done if it wasn't for drugs or alcohol. Um, I also think about the time. What would I have done with the time? Like, holy fuck, man! If I would have spent more of my 20s and 30s working my ass off, saving money, buying a home, and getting established. If I would have spent more of that time doing that rather than fucking getting high and partying and shit, where would I be in life today? Now, fortunately for me, things came up roses. I couldn't be happier than where I am today. I of course still ask myself that question because maybe it would have been even better. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe I still would have met Shanna somehow, but instead we'd be living in a fucking, $750,000 house on a hill somewhere. I don't know. I don't know. You know what I mean? But we'll never know, and that's why I say it's not good to practice it because it's fucking torture. But I think most of us think about that from time to time. Like not only the things that I could have changed or that would have been different, I should say, if I didn't ever discover drugs or alcohol. Like in other words, I never even took my first drink. I never even took my first hit or first bump or whatever. But what would I have done with the time if I never discovered drugs or alcohol? Holy fuck. You know what I mean? What would I have done? But that's like I said, that's torture. It's not don't do that. Don't do it. It's I do it too often and it's not good for you. It's not. Really, Joe Root? I drank always, no matter what. Because of cocaine. You know what I mean? Beck drank with benzos. Me too, bro. And that's fucking dangerous. Guys, I would take fucking benzos by the fucking. I mean, I that one time when I was living on Madison Avenue in New York City, and my friend, me and my daughter's mom had just broken up. They moved back with, you know, her mom, and I was only getting my daughter, a few days a week, whatever. A friend of mine named Darb, he got 10 years for selling cocaine. And he lost his apartment and everything when they raided him. So had been staying with his mom, but then I think he just wanted to, I don't know, be around friends or something. So I told him he can come live with me till he reports, to go upstate. And there was one day, man, where his girlfriend, I can't remember her name. She was a little Asian girl. I think her name might have been Michelle. I'm not sure. I don't remember anymore. Anyway, he told me she had Xanax. So I'm like, word? Hit her up to ask her if I can come by and get some. So he said, yeah, bro, you go ahead. Whenever you're ready. He had shit to do that day. He's like, just go swing by her crib and, she'll hook you up. I went there and she gave me a fucking, like a quarter of a Ziploc sandwich bag. Okay. Like I forget what I even paid her, but it wasn't much. And it was all footballs. You know what I mean? It was the blue footballs. Like, God damn. I took so many that day and I drank so much and did so much coke. 3 days later, no exaggeration, 3 days later, um, I wake up to my door being kicked in. Okay. Well, not even. They kicked the door in. It was my friend Mike and Darb. They kicked the door in and they're on the fucking bed shaking me, shaking me, shaking me. And I come out of it. I wake up. They tell me how long I've been out, but my fucking face is stuck to the pillow. Know why? My nose bled so fucking bad. I developed such a severe sinus infection. My fucking pillow was blood red. It was covered in blood. My face was covered in blood, so it was stuck to the pillow because it all dried. I had to rip the pillow off my face and go to the hospital. But I had been out for 3 fucking days. They thought I was dead in there. You know what I'm saying? Which I almost want to ask, why'd you wait 3 days? But 2 wasn't enough? You didn't want to come check on me? But yeah, and I did it all the time. Even when I was in that hotel, I was taking a minimum of 4 milligrams of Ativan a day, and that was on a slow day. I took Klonopin. I was taking 6 milligrams of Klonopin a day for a few months, drinking. I was fucking, there's all the Xanax and shit. It's not good. It'll kill you, really. It could. Oh, me too, Beck. That's what makes us addicts. Thank you, Antonino. I appreciate that, bro. Mob Entertainment Group. I knew a guy who wouldn't travel unless he could bring pot with him. Nowadays, it doesn't matter, but in the 90s, that kind of dumb mentality limits your life. Yeah, it's true. It's true. His name wasn't Johnny Mac, was it? Just out of curiosity. Sorry, guys. Every now and then I got to slip one in. I don't know. Miss can't be wrong. I wonder the same thing. Did you see that community post I put up a while ago? Who was it that said it? Wait a minute. It was a rapper. Who knows if it was even his quote? People just put a picture. They just put a person's picture up now with a quote. Like it'll be like a picture of Tupac with a quote from Martin Luther King Jr. It'll be like, why is there a picture of Tupac here? Fucking people are stupid. They have like a picture of King Von with like a fucking AR in his hand, and it'll be like a quote about love. They never make sense. Knowing King Von just killed a motherfucker or two. Why are you quoting fucking sentimental shit right now on Facebook? What does it say? Damn, oh, I don't know. I don't even know who this is, but it says, oh, Wale. It says, oh, I guess it is. It's from his Twitter. Wale, the concept of alcohol is actually crazy. I'm going to drink something that doesn't taste good so I can feel good for a little bit only to feel worse later. It's true. I think Bill Cosby did a funny thing way back in his early comedy days about alcohol too. It's like I'm going to drink something that's going to make me sick. I know it's going to make me throw up and shit, but I'm going to put that into my body deliberately. It is crazy. And the fucked up thing for me now, being clean and sober, like me and Shannon, like especially when we go on vacations, which we always go on, everywhere you go. I mean, life in America, and I'm sure other countries too, but I've never been to any, so I say America. It's always, no matter what you're doing, it's about drinking. If you're at a wedding, drinking. If you're at a fucking any type of social outing, if you're going out with friends, you could be going to a bowling alley, you could be going to a dance club, you could be going to a bar, you could be going to a regular restaurant, you could be going to a casino. Drinking, drinking, drinking. That's it. Like I have a somewhat of a belief that America itself is how do I say this? It's made up of 350 million alcoholics. Like that's what it seems like. You know what I'm saying? Because everything in life is about alcohol. It doesn't matter what you're fucking doing. It doesn't matter what you're doing. If you're not drinking, you're the outcast. It's like at the casino, they come around with a cart, or at least in your casino, it's great. They come around with a cart with waters, cokes, diet cokes, whatever, fountain drinks. But they have wine and beer and all. It's all free shit. We get fucking a Coke and a Diet Coke for me and Shannon. We tip her nicely. You know what I mean? Everybody else, beer, wine, beer, wine, beer, wine. Then if you go to like Atlantic City or whatever, the cocktail waitresses come around with a fucking tray. You're lucky if you get your drink 80 minutes after you fucking ordered it. But I'll ask for a Coke, and the girl looks at me like I have six heads. You know what I mean? She's like, rum in that? No, no, no. Just the Coke. It's crazy. Like the people who don't drink are the outcasts. That's why a lot of people drink. That's a fact. And a lot of people relapse too because people still want a social life. Well, how the fuck, say you're a chick and you go out with five other chicks. You go to whatever it may be, a bachelorette party. You just go out to hang out at a bar. Like I said, it could be a bowling alley. It could be a casino. It could be anything. You're going to be the only one not drinking. You're uncomfortable. You feel awkward. So people drink just to fit in. Another thing, social life wise, being outgoing. Guys, believe it or not, I'm pretty much the same guy in real life. But well, now more so than I used to be. Now I'm the type of dude that I'm so used to this that I've become way more sociable. Like I'll fucking be around a crowd of people and I'll just make a funny comment and start a conversation, whatever, and get people going. But I used to be shy, no lie, weird. Like if I wasn't around people I knew, I was very quiet and withdrawn. But you drink because you want to, and a lot of people are like that. So they drink because they want to fucking be friendly. They want to be fun. They want to hit on girls. They want to hit on guys, whatever it may be. And they don't have the courage or the confidence to do it without alcohol. Guys, I don't give a fuck what anybody says. Alcohol is the most dangerous drug on the planet Earth, period, hands down, no matter what. No matter what anybody says. There is more deaths and tragedy and unwanted pregnancy and violence and everything else, rape, you name it, attributed to alcohol use than anything else. Drunk driving, accidents, everything. There's nothing that even compares to it. Not you. Heroin and cocaine, powder and crack forms combined. Okay, they don't add up to the death and destruction caused by alcohol. Yet, only one is legal, and it's alcohol. Isn't that some shit? You know why? You know why alcohol will always remain legal? Don't give me prohibition and organized crime. Fuck out of here. This ain't the 20s anymore. They could make it illegal if they want. They could have a whole new prohibition and they won't have any. There's not going to be any new Al Capones springing up, okay? Because every judge, every DA, every politician, every powerful government figure, every senator, and probably even most presidents, okay, congressmen, what's governors, whatever it could be, okay, the most powerful people in this country go home and have a drink at night. Most likely they have a bottle in a drawer in their desk. When they go out to lunch together on a break, uh, they have a few drinks, some wine, whatever. It's the most dangerous drug on earth, and it will continue to remain as the only legal one. It's unfucking real. It really is. It's I remember when I was in drug and alcohol counseling, and they told, or no, it was DUI class. They told us that during the Vietnam War, more people had died from drunk driving accidents than in the entire Vietnam War. In other words, all the casualties of the Vietnam War did not equal the amount of drunk driving deaths during the duration of that war. That's fucking insane. And that was back then. You're talking about 50 fucking years ago. Now, it's nuts. It really is, man. It's fucking sick. It's sick, but it's everywhere you go. You can't escape it. You know what I mean? Everywhere you go serves alcohol. Everywhere you go, the majority of people that are there will be drinking. And it doesn't matter how much death and destruction is caused. That drug will be here until the end of time, and it'll be legal, and it will be the most accessible thing on the planet. There's no doubt about it. You know, at 2 a.m., I can't go get a good meal, but I could go, well, let's say 1:30 a.m. I can't go get a good meal, but I could go get a bottle or a six-pack with no problem. No problem at all. It's amazing, right? That's good, Robert. That's good, man. Yeah, those places, even the ones that suck, man, if they get you clean and sober, it's worth it. Before my addiction, I was very outgoing and never needed substances to have fun. Now that I rarely drink, whenever I'm sober, I have a difficult time having a conversation when I'm out. It changed me. Oh yeah, no, I understand that. I think it does it to I think that's how a lot of people turn out. You know what I mean? Because they don't have that that social butterfly juice anymore. You know what I mean? Like that fucking you I've seen it with women. I've seen women who go out to a bar with their friends and they got their head down and their hands together and they don't look at anyone or talk to anyone. They get a few wines in them and next thing you know they're pulling their titties out, and they're on the dance floor and they're fucking, you know what I mean? It's amazing what it does to people. It really is. Really, Beck? That's funny. Oh, I know Miss Can't Be Wrong. I know. I've read it. I drink 3 beers every couple of months and get a hangover with anxiety. Um, really? Well, you said you never had an issue though, right? Wait a minute, or did you? Somebody in here was saying, no, that wasn't you. That was Beck, I think. You still drink every 3 beers every couple of months? Yeah, I don't. Some people can do it, I guess. Some people can do it. I was like that, for a long time when I was like, for example, when I got sober in 2000 after the psych ward and all that shit. I stayed clean and stuff for a while, and then I had a much younger girlfriend. Fucking smoke show, 23-year-old fucking college graduate, party girl. And I was, 30, 31, whatever, work. No. What was I? This is 2000. No. So I was 28, 28, yeah. And I was with her for like 4 years, 3 years, something like that. Um, uh, she, uh, she loved to drink and go out. And I didn't mind. I'd let her go out with her friends. I'll tell you the truth. I didn't feel the same about her. She felt about me. I kind of wasted her time. I'm not going to front. But, uh, we were together for several years. And I didn't really care that much if she went out with it. Like part of our relationship, I was in jail. And part of it, I was on house arrest. You know what I'm saying? I let her go out and shit. But I got to the point where I wanted to start going out. So we would go out like, you know, once a month, maybe twice a month. After a while, it might have been on weekends, but not every weekend because I had my daughter and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Um, and I was able to do it. I would get fucked up and I'd feel like shit for a day or two. And then I would just go back to work and work for a couple of weeks and do my thing with my daughter or whatever. Then I would drink again. And, I'm somebody who could do that. But, once you add that cocaine into the mix, nope. And for the most part, during my lifetime with addiction, I couldn't do one without the other. But when I was with her, she didn't fuck with drugs. She was only into drinking. So there's no way I was getting any cocaine. You know what I'm saying? She would have fucking killed me. She'd tossed me right out of the car. And I didn't have my license then, so she was driving. She kicked me right out the fucking door. One night, this is fucking humiliating. One night, um, we were out and I think we were living together at this point. It might have been right after. No. As soon as I got off house arrest, I moved out. I got a crib for me and my daughter. So it might have been before I went to jail and all that stuff again. But one night when we were out, I got the craving, man. And I said, do me a favor. I want to introduce you to some. I made this whole bullshit stuff. I want to introduce you to a friend in New York City. Go to Penn and College. Go to Penn and College Avenue. You know what I mean? And I want you to introduce you to a friend, and then we'll go home after that. Meanwhile, I had already gone in the bathroom and called this friend and told him to have, a little something ready for me. I mean, with this dude, I didn't even, it was a friend. I didn't have to pay for I told you, I never really paid for drugs. I always sold them and had my own. And if I didn't, I just had people that would give it to me. So I told him, to be ready for me. And we got there and he gave me, I don't know what it was. It might've been, I don't know what it was. A couple dubs, like I said, probably, but I hadn't been doing coke for a while. So, we went back to the apartment and after she went to sleep, we did our thing, whatever. She went to sleep. After that, I went in the bathroom and there was no smoking. It was her apartment at the time. There was no smoking in that apartment. She hated smoke. But I went in the bathroom and I started breaking out the coke. Next thing you know, there was a few 6-packs in the fucking, I already had a good, we were been drinking, but there was a few 6-packs in the fridge. So I went and got all of those 6-packs, brought them into the bathroom and camped out. And the bathroom was the size of picture a small apartment bathroom. It was tiny. Fucking tiny. And I sat in there all night and did coke and drank and smoked cigarette after cigarette. The next day she woke up. I'm like like geeking, like looking like I saw a ghost. She's like, what the fuck is going on? She went in the bathroom, smelled all the smoke. So you've been smoking in the apartment. What the fuck are you doing? I never told her I got the coke. I never told her. And she didn't know much about it, so she didn't catch on. Tom Sheehy, what's up, bro? Thank you again, man. Tom Sheehy did something very nice for me and Shannon Gunsmoke last night. Thank you for being here, bro. We missed you, man. Damn, I'm still way behind. No, I hear you, Joseph. Yeah, I guess for me too a little bit, but it's as far as I'm concerned, it belongs to Shanna. Oh, Della's my name, of course, man. Joe McDougal, what's up, bro? Oh, okay. I don't even know what you're thanking me for, but yeah, I'll check your email out. Bro, I just saw you somewhere in a. Where the fuck did I see you on Instagram or somewhere? Maybe. Oh, I think I saw you commenting on a Patrick Borriello post or something. I'm like, damn, I haven't seen him in a while. Good to see you, bro. Scott McDonald, it was great to chat and listening to all you fabulous people, but I got to go for now. See you all later if FBS is back on. Oh, FBS will be back on. All right, Scott, have a good day, bro. Michael Hensley, FBS, just imagine if you didn't live the life you did. Find sobriety and find Shanna. Crazy how the world works, and I'm sure you wouldn't change your journey for the world. Well, that's a tough one, bro. The last part of it, nah. But what led me up to it? I mean, don't get me wrong. I couldn't be happier where I am, but I hurt people, man. That I fucking love more than anything in this world. You know what I'm saying? And I'm telling you, there's a couple who our relationships are completely altered and probably forever. And it breaks my it's the biggest sadness in my fucking life. There's people that that I could just tell, that when I do speak to them, and I don't speak to them often, that's their choice, that they're still just disgusted with me. You know what I'm saying? And that breaks my heart, bro. So yeah, unfortunately, I think I'd rather be living in a cardboard box, absolutely, completely miserable, and have all that pain taken away from those people I hurt. Rather than me be happy now, but all that shit is there to stay, and they have to live with it, and I have to live with the consequences of it. I'll be honest with you, bro. I really, really would, man. I was not a good guy. I was not. Edward Everett, man, I do too. These guys are great. Oh, Miss Can't Be Wrong. Yeah, absolutely. I told you. When I went, when they finally, after 12 hours of them running every test, checking me for Lyme's disease, everything else, when they finally figured out that I was having heart failure and that my fucking ejection fraction was 10 to 15%, they actually told me, I don't know if it was right then or a couple days later, sometime during that fucking 12-day stay in the hospital, they told me that the alcohol did way more damage. Because how do they know that? Because they just know. The alcohol does way more damage to your heart than even cocaine. That's a fact. If you're drinking as much as you are doing cocaine, in other words, I'm not saying that if you do cocaine 24 hours a day, but you only drink once a week, that the alcohol does more. I'm saying no. When you're severely addicted to both, the alcohol, like you said, wreaks havoc on everything, including your fucking heart and brain. Yeah, without a doubt. People think it's just their liver. No fucking way. You ever see somebody with wet brain or, yeah, I mean, no, and it destroys your fucking heart. It destroys your fucking heart. They say that bottom line is I would have wound up with heart failure anyway eventually because everybody on my mom's side of the family had it. Um, it probably would have come years and years later. But as far as the drugs and alcohol, the alcohol, they said without a doubt, with 100% confidence, that the alcohol was responsible for most of the heart damage. And there's a good example when I had that seizure and I was in critical condition and the CICU and all that. They told me no lie, and this is all from alcohol. They told me that I had liver damage. They said I had fatty metamorphosis of the liver, and in 6 months more of drinking the way I was, I would have had full blown cirrhosis at 19. They told me that I had kidney damage. They said that I had bone marrow damage. I didn't even know that was a thing. And they said that I had an enlarged heart from the alcohol. And I said, well, because you know me, I'm the type of motherfucker that's like, so do I put a gun to my head or do I fucking just keep drinking because I'm dead anyway, or do I have a chance or what? And they were like, no, everything that's wrong with you now can be made better if you just stop now. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if all of it did, but I know my liver got back to normal, stuff like that. I don't have kidney problems till this day. As far as the bone marrow, I have no idea. But that wasn't the only time. When I left the psych ward, they told me the same thing. I had a severely enlarged heart. And then, of course, again in 2014 when I had the heart failure, severely enlarged heart. Let me tell you something though. Even at that age, I was what, 34 then? No. Was it 2014? 2014? Yes, I guess it was 34, 35. Yeah. They said that oh, I'm sorry, not that they said. Sorry, I got distracted by trying to figure out the exact age I was. Because most people think you can only get better when you're a young man or young woman, whatever. No, it's not. It's not the case. They told me that again, as they always did, that certain things can be made better. They didn't know if my heart could. They didn't think it could actually, but they said that if it does begin to improve, I don't know how to say it, but the heart enlargement can be reversed. You know, and now when I do my echoes, which I only do once a year, um, my heart is normal size now. There's no more heart enlargement whatsoever. So some things can be reversed even later on in life. You know what I'm saying? Even later on in life, it depends. Uh, Joseph Montanaro, que sera, sera. So best keep a positive mindset, Edward, and let's assume you'll be back in the chat. What is Edward? Is Edward having? Wait a minute. Oh shit. Oh, that's not good, bro. So you having surgery or something? Oh fuck. Oh man, I wish you the best, bro. Get better soon and get your ass back here so we can have fun. We get down. All right, bro. I'll check it out. Thank you, man. Tony Ducks. I know here in Connecticut there used to be a program that if you were a victim of a crime, the state will cover your stay. Not sure if the program still is up and running still, but it was for the time. Oh, I'm sorry. It was for the longest time. Well, that's good. That's one way to do it, I guess. A victim of a crime. It probably geared towards people who've been the victim of domestic violence and stuff like that, or rape, whatever. But I'm sure it's any victim. That's awesome. Charity care. Oh yeah, yeah. There's a bunch of different ways. SoFlo hacked my StreamYard. No, I'm just fucking. He couldn't hack his way out of a fucking paper bag. Uh, Walt Liquor, were you unhealthy before the? Oh, Walt is having issues. Where's his? See, I'm all lost here, motherfucker. Because now it cut off a lot of the old comments. Does York have shop, drink, and sit in a grocery store? I don't know, bro. The only grocery store I go to is Walmart. Every now and then, Giant. Every now, see, you're in Lancaster, bro. You don't know, like those WalMarts suck. What is it? The one off, not Manheim Pike, Fruitville Pike. I think you have one. That's a pretty shitty one, I think. And I forget where the other Walmart is in Lancaster. I think that one's a little better. But we have like a fucking super duper center in York here, where that's where most people do their grocery shopping now. Giant and Wise they're still everywhere, but they're mainly for older people, especially Wise. If you go into Wise, the average person's age is probably about 312. You got to be a real old motherfucker who doesn't like change. It's the most expensive grocery store I've ever seen. And they do shit to fuck with the old people. Like, say a jar of sauce, they'll be like, buy five, for like if you buy five, you get them for $10, right? So old people buy five, but it tells you right there, if you really look at it, that if you buy one, it's still only $2. You know what I'm saying? They do shit like that because they know it's all old people in there. They'll just get them to buy more shit, even though the price would be the same if you bought less. It's crazy. Yeah, I didn't know, man. I don't know about the sit. I know there's a Giant in West York, well, West Manchester Township. That as soon as you walk into the right, there's a like a sitting area. It used to be like for like a internet cafe type of thing, and they have all the alcohol there you could buy. So probably that, yeah, probably that. But I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, it's everywhere now, bro. The fucking gas station a few blocks away. Not only does it have a slots room, okay, and I'm not talking about the skill games. There's gas stations in PA and especially York that have the skill games. I'm talking about actual slots. It's a little slot room in the Rudders, which is where I get my iced tea. It's my favorite iced tea in the world, and there's one right down there. They have a slots room with a bunch of slot machines. Then they have the beer, all types of fucking beer, and then they have like I just noticed this a couple of weeks ago. I think I talked about it. It fucked me up at first. I went to a Sheets actually, and that's like our version of Wawa. Wawa is way better. I was fucking online and I look and I'm like, does that say Fireball and Parrot Bay and all these I'm like, and they were like little pints. I'm like, what the fuck? Now, in case you guys don't know, PA is not like any other state. It's fucking terrible. If you buy liquor in PA, you're buying it only from a state store. It's it's all state run. The PA Liquor Control Board. There's no store in Pennsylvania where you could buy a bottle of hard liquor other than a wine and spirits, something like that, which is a state owned and run store. It's fucking weird. And up until just, I don't know, 5, 6 years ago, there was no beer in grocery stores. Well, maybe a little further back with grocery stores, they allowed beer. But in gas stations and convenience stores, none of that shit. No beer. All right. But they started allowing beer in there, like I said, 4 or 5 years ago in the gas stations, and it's only certain ones and shit. Like the little mom and pop gas stations, Exxon and shit, you won't find them. But like the Rudders and Turkey Hills and shit like that. I don't even know if Turkey Hills have them. Sheets does. They have beer. But now I'm online a few weeks ago to get cigarettes, and I look behind the counter and I see this whole rack, and I see Parrot Bay, and Fireball. Oh, and Southern Comfort. I said, what the fuck? So I got curious. I said to the dude behind me, I said, bro, do they sell liquor here now? How is that even possible? And he was like, I don't know. It certainly looks like it. So later on, it was either that day or another day, I went into the Rudders right down here, and instead of having it behind the counter, they had a rack right, by the slots room. And I looked at the rack, and I'm like, sure enough, Fireball, Southern Comfort, Parrot Bay. But it's not like what you get in a liquor store. It's like 21% alcohol, 25% alcohol. So instead of 80 proof or 100 proof, it's like 40 proof or 50 proof or 42.5 or 45 proof. But still, that's pretty goddamn close. It's not like beer. The average beer is what, 6 to 8% alcohol? So if you're talking about these little pints that are 21% alcohol, they'll fuck you up. Hold on, guys. Hold on. All right, guys. I had to say goodbye to my beautiful Shanna. So anyway, I know that was probably boring to death, or boring as fuck for you guys, but yeah, it fucked me up for a little, because I'm not gonna lie to you. I was like, so wait a minute. For the first time ever since I've lived here, I could just go right down the street and get basically a bottle of liquor, up until 2 a.m. rather than the state stores here that are only open till 9 or 10 tops. That fucked me up for a little. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, for a couple of days, I was like thrown off by it, but now I think nothing of it. I even told Shanna, I'm like, this is not good. I don't like the fact that they got that shit right there. I really don't. I really don't. Um, oh, bro, it's fucking horrible, Ranger Fan 11. You feel dirty. You feel like a fucking bum, like a crackhead. You just feel like a scumbag. It's fucking, it's one thing I will never miss. Yeah, I never did Molly. My Mexican friends across the street on Poplar, Geo and them guys, them motherfuckers. I'd wake up like on a Saturday and come out, front for like the first, like 11 a.m., and these porch like singing and shit. I'm like, what's up with you guys? Just took a bunch of Molly. Like, oh, it's pretty early for Molly, isn't it? And meanwhile, I'm doing lines and drinking already. Yes, Miss Can't Be Wrong. I like that message. If you are out there lurking in the bushes, afraid to ask for help, don't be. We all need help from time to time. Just ask for it. A lot of good folks here. That's right. I encourage people who are watching from the bushes. Don't be shy. Come in the chat. You don't have to make a screen name, make it, whatever. Call yourself Gunsmoke the Don. It don't matter. Just use a different avatar so we know it's not him. And come in the chat and socialize with people, talk. You gain some support. We have 119 people right now. That's fantastic for an addiction and recovery show. And I can't wait. And we will, if I keep my ass on track and people spread the word, there will be a day when we're getting 300-400 live people in here. I'm convinced of it. That's what we need. The more people, the better. I ask you guys, please, if you know somebody who's struggling, whether they've struggled in the past, they're currently struggling, or they're in their recovery process, whatever it may be, please recommend these shows to them. I want to grow this, guys. Let me tell you, a dream of mine, and especially now more than ever, I mean this, a dream of mine would be to only do this on YouTube. Of course, considering I don't ask for donations on these shows, I don't know how that would work, because I would have to make money at it somehow. But maybe, I don't know, maybe I could monetize them. I don't know. But I would love it. I would love it. Just do this, just positive shit, and everybody else can go fuck themselves with all their horse shit. I'd love it. I love it. Bob Entertainment Group. This is why I love you. This is why anybody can say whatever they want about JC. There's only one. There's only one JC, and this is the guy. Okay, there. I've never met anyone like JC in my life. And you say what you want, but this motherfucker is smart and witty and clever as could be. He's a white hat BS artist, not a black hat BS artist. Remember that, people, bro. That's exactly right. I am a white hat hacker. No, you're not. No, you're not. You barely know how to turn that fucking computer on. Don't lie to us. I am a white hat hacker. No, you're not. No, you're not. Let me get down here. A lot of shit. Wait a minute. Who's this? Is this somebody new? Oh, Jamie P. Bro, I was thinking about you last night. I couldn't remember if you were in the chat. I'm like, I hope Jamie P is unblocked now. Lance 33, you got Wegmans your way, bro. I think so. I gotta ask my mom. Yeah, I think my mom goes there. I don't know. I don't I don't really go to, like, as far as grocery shopping and shit. I like I said, every fucking thing I do is at Walmart because there's nothing there I can't get, and it's cheaper than anywhere else. You know what I'm saying? As far as food, I probably make 3 trips a week. No lie. I make sure I am. Listen, this is why I do the grocery shopping. And I don't give a fuck. Anybody can make fun of me if they want. I do the grocery shopping. I mean, Shannon does from time to time. But you know why? Because I am so OCD that I need to make sure, like, I don't take a chance of anything running out in this house. I know what drinks Shanna and Braden need. I know what snacks or whatever it may be that Shanna needs to take to work with her. I know what my stepson likes to eat before school and as a snack when he gets home, and all this different shit. Sometimes I help my mom out. I buy her, a bunch of food. I always make sure I have what I need, and I don't even take the chance of running out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll go to the store 3 fucking times a week and I'll buy everything. I just, that's how it's got to be that way. I don't know why. I was never like that before. You couldn't catch me grocery shop. Well, when my daughter lived with me, I did, but it was just me and her. Every other time, I had a girlfriend or something that would do it. But here, I don't even want Shannon doing it because I've become OCD in my old age now. I never used to be that way. I used to always be real meticulous and want things to be, I was a perfectionist, but never as OCD as I am now. If I know that we're out of something, it'll haunt me all day until I go get more of it, or if we're even close to being out of something. So Walmart is my answer. All right, guys. Well, listen. Lemon 714. I didn't see all your comments. I just want to say, if you're new, welcome. And thank you for being here. I love when we get new people. Oh, I know Miss Can't Be Wrong. Yeah, anybody who can, spread the word, please. Oh, that's how I am now. Like, I don't fuck around. Like, the fucking none of that shit. Everything has to be perfect. It's just the way it is. All right, guys, I'm out of here for now. Listen, almost 2 hours. This is a fucking great addiction and recovery show. I enjoyed it very much. The only thing that would make it better is a better host instead of this babbling, bald-headed, lemon-headed, fat fucking moron who's sitting in front of you now. So do I, bro. So do I, Michael. There isn't another community like it. You could say what you want about what I do when I'm not doing these shows, all my other shows, that's fine. But I challenge you to find any other positivity, any other positive thing. Show me one single show that comes from any other content creator on SlobTube or anywhere. Okay? Even the people that used to be with MobTube. Show me one fucking thing positive that's happening on their channel. You know what I'm saying? I want this positivity. I want to help people. Right along with sometimes having to hurt a motherfucker or two, you know? It's important to me. So that's it. Guys, write these numbers down. You thought I forgot, didn't you? I don't forget, but at least not this. National Addiction Hotline, 855-572-8237. Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is 988. Write these numbers down. Put them on your fridge. Put them in your pocket, your wallet, your man purse, your fanny pack. If you're a kangaroo, put them in your pouch. If you have a briefcase, put it in there. I never carried a briefcase. If you smoke a pipe, well, don't put it in your pipe. It'll burn up. Let me see. What else can you do with it? You can get it tattooed on you. Go get a tattoo with these phone numbers. What else? Let me see. Get a shirt made up. You get the point. Just keep these numbers handy. All right, guys? Keep Timothy Sullivan. It's all good. What do you mean? Hold on. This genre isn't as bad as any other genres, as vicious as it is. Other genres are 100 times worse. Yeah, I've never been in any other ones. I never have. Anyway, guys, that's it. You got the numbers. Oh, Miss Charlie Steen, thank you so much. I love seeing Miss Charlie in here. Always makes me smile. Such a sweetheart. So that's it, guys. I'm going to be back on tonight, I assume, unless I decide, you know what? No, I'm not going on tonight. You never know, but most likely I will if I have something good to entertain you guys with. If so, I'll see you then. If not, I'll see you tomorrow sometime, right? Thank you guys for attending these meetings. Well, I'm sorry. Jesus, fuck. What did I just call it? Thank you guys for attending these addiction and recovery live streams. That's what I meant. What the fuck? I don't know. I don't. Maybe it reminds me. I don't know. I never even attended any. But okay. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it, and stay on the course. To recovery. Stay strong. Don't let anything. Don't let anything throw you off your game. You know what I mean? Keep your eye on the ball and remember that if you ain't sober and clean, nothing good is going to happen to you. I promise that shit. It will all be bad, and you'll most likely have a terrible outcome. So do what you can to stay strong, stay clean and sober. If you need anything from any of us, just reach out. Absolutely, Miss Camp, you're wrong. If you need anything from any of us, just reach out. There's many people in the chat who will give you their email addresses, and maybe once you email them, even their phone numbers. I will. You could email me at fatbalditallion@gmail.com, and if you need to speak to me, leave your number. I'll definitely give you a call. And that's it, guys. Thank you, Joy Electric. That's it, guys. I love you all, and until next time, salute.